Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and today we have big news. Of course, announced as at BlizzCon, as predicted, Sombra has finally been revealed. And I do actually have the ability video up right now. And I'm going to talk about Sombra's abilities for a moment. Just to kind of break down what she might be like to play, and what things are going to change. Because here's the thing. Sombra is probably the first main disabler in the game, and this is really going to change things up. So first things first, she's armed with a machine pistol. As we saw in the Sombra leak, there was a picture of a machine pistol. Looked to be something along the lines of an MP7 or an Uzi kind of mix. A very conventional looking weapon. And as we can see in the trailer right here, it seems to be more or less along those lines. Now it has a 60 round magazine, and well, we can't see the health bars in this. You can actually see there's a McCree here who gets killed. Now, she finishes off that sequence with 13 rounds left in the magazine. After firing at Roadhog, she has 46 remaining. So it looks like it takes about 30 or 33 rounds to take down an offense hero, which is kind of similar to the sort of damage that you might expect from Tracer. And this is, based on how she plays anyway, pretty much on the mark of where we would expect her damage to be. But of course, her main abilities. Now let's have a look at what she can actually do. So if we go through, we can actually see she has a sort of teleporter device that she can throw. And that seems to have a pretty decent range on it. And what it allows her to do is she throws the device out and then it teleports her to that. And we can actually see this happening in the trailer. Now, according to the Overwatch website, this is called a translocator beacon, and it can actually be activated even while it's mid-flight. So you could throw it above enemies as well and use that to teleport to them. So think of it as a kind of combination of Tracer's recall and kind of the reverse of that too, since you can use it to go forward instead of just going backwards. So I can see this being quite versatile. You can probably put it down somewhere and then use that to escape, or you can actually put that in front of where you're going to and get that sort of sidestep or shadow step thing going. But let's have a look at what her other abilities are. So of course, invisibility as well. You can see that was something that has been pitched many times already, and of course now we can see that she does indeed have an invisibility option. It seems to, according to the Overwatch website, it actually not only makes her invisible, but it also gives her a speed boost as well. So what we're actually looking at here is a period of time where she's invisible, and it's a short period of time. It looks to be only a few seconds, maybe 4 to 6 seconds at most, but she can't fire or use any abilities without cancelling it. So that's something to bear in mind there. It can be used to escape, I guess, similar to sort of Reaper's Wraith form, but instead of her being invulnerable to damage, she's just invisible. And it seems to take a couple of seconds to fully take effect, so when it's cast, you are still visible for a short period of time before you're actually completely invisible. So let's have a look at her other abilities here. And of course, very quickly, we see the EMP. That is her ultimate ability. So that's a very wide radius. In fact, looking at the trailer here, it seems to extend from the gate on Dorado all the way past the fountain, which is quite a wide area. It's on par with sort of May's upgraded Blizzard ability now, which is quite wide. But it isn't an AoE over time effect, it is an instant use. And according to the Overwatch website, it seems to destroy enemy barriers and shields, as well as hacking all opponents caught in the blast. Now, we did see at the beginning the hack ability. If we go back to Roadhog, we can actually see her hacking Roadhog there to stop him from using his abilities. And that seems to cancel ults, as well as temporarily stop them using any abilities whatsoever. So you can imagine that being basically a stun. Hacked characters, of course, can't use their abilities, but they can still attack and use normal melee and primary fire and so on, but they just don't have their abilities available. But the EMP is just that on a much wider scale. But the interesting thing is that it destroys barriers and shields, meaning that any characters that make use of shields as a large part of their health, for example Zarya and Zenyatta, may actually be very vulnerable to this. At the same time, it can actually destroy Reinhardt's shield, which means that our main tank, Reinhardt, now actually has a hard counter to his defensive ability. And the same goes for Zarya, since while she's hacked, she's not able to deploy that shield bubble, but she also then has her health considerably reduced. So this is something that's going to change things up quite a lot, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later down the line. So let's have a look at some of the other things that she can do here. Now, of course, there it is, there's something I talked about on stream that I wanted to see Sombra being able to do. A Torbjorn turret being able to be disabled by the hack ability. So it seems to temporarily just shut down the turret. We don't know exactly how long this lasts for, but that is something I expected to see from Sombra, and indeed she is able to do that. So hack not only works on characters, it also works on turrets, which is a very interesting thing indeed. And here we see a little bit more of the hack ability there, using it on a first aid kit. So this is the first, I would say, direct ability that can affect game objects, like objects in the world. Previously, if you had Ana throw her biotic grenade down, you can't use the first aid kits when you're affected by it. But now we can see someone completely able to disable those first aid kits as well. Not sure if this works on allies as well. I would hope it doesn't, but at the same time, it does seem to be able to deny those health packs to the enemy. So that's a very interesting ability as well. And of course, there we see the offensive use of the Translocator Beacon, the ability to get behind that bastion. Now, the big question here, of course, is will the Translocator Beacon be able to be destroyed before it's used? That's going to be a big question there, because it is in flight and it can be used at any point in time. So I guess the only counter to that would be the ability to destroy it then. It's also worth noting that the Translocator Beacon appears to have a sort of 15-second uptime from the moment that it's thrown. And while the cooldown time seems to show something like 6 or 8 seconds or something like that, it's not really a big deal at this stage what the cooldown is, because that could possibly change. But the that uptime there is worth noting. And of course, right here you can see Bastion trying to engage Sombra here, and the invisibility was activated, but you can see it does take at least a second for her to be completely invisible. Now, I don't know if this is entirely a video effect, it looks like all of this is gameplay, so that seems to be the only one weakness of the invisibility, is that it isn't active immediately, and it does take a couple of seconds for her to disappear. So we do have that period of time where she can be countered while trying to do that, so we're going to see how this sort of plays out. But overall, Sombra is a very interesting character from the looks of it. She has a lot of very disruptive abilities. They're not necessarily offensive or defensive in nature, they seem to be more or less neutral, but for the most part she seems to be kind of that offensive support in that she's able to set up the plays for other people. So of course disabling turrets, hacking dangerous enemies and so on can be very powerful and definitely make that difference when you have a team trying to make a push. But in addition to that as well, it does look like Sombra might be hard counters to a lot of the very powerful characters in the meta right now. I mean, we saw at the beginning there's Lucio, and while she can definitely hack Lucio to prevent him from using his ult, for example, it's unclear as to whether or not Lucio's ultimate actually counts as a shield, because while it does appear blue on the health bar, if it does count as a shield, she might actually be able to completely shut that down. At the same time, the main tanks Reinhardt and Zarya now are in danger because Reinhardt's barrier and Zarya's shields are now vulnerable to the EMP, so an ult from Sombra can be very dangerous to both of them. So what we could actually be seeing is Roadhog and D.Va now coming up in the meta. While Roadhog can be countered by Ana, in that she can throw a biotic grenade to stop him from healing, D.Va now has the ability, of course, that if her mech is destroyed, she has that sort of second life to go on. That makes her more powerful as a tank than she previously was, and of course in the PTR right now we are seeing her having that health buff, and now we know why that has happened. So it does appear that the meta might shift slightly. If Lucio's passive heal, if his ultimate can be cancelled by Sombra, then we now have a direct counter to that exact meta. But what's going to come up and take that place? Now, of course, Zenyatta, being a popular healer as well, might actually come back again because of Sombra, because his health is unfortunately made up mostly of shields. So her EMP then makes him very vulnerable, but then we have Ana and Mercy, who do not rely on their shields at all. So there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, in the meta when Sombra finally hits the live servers. Not so much the PTR, but just on the live servers themselves. And of course, now that the game finally has its first main disabler, we're going to see how strats really change. And of course, what counters Sombra? Now, from the first glance, it doesn't look like she's a very durable character. If we have a look back at the start of the trailer, she only has 200 health, so she does appear to be an offense character. She definitely doesn't have as little health as Tracer or even D.Va without her mech, but 200 health seems about the baseline for most offense. But the question, of course, is how effective her machine pistol will end up being as an actual weapon. If she doesn't have a powerful weapon, then maybe she might have to rely on those abilities much more. Now, we don't have a clear idea of exactly what the cooldowns are like, and even if you've seen videos of gameplay from BlizzCon and so on, the thing is, these cooldowns may not be final. They might be adjusted during the PTR, they might be adjusted before she hits the live servers, so at the moment it's still very speculative, but at least from what it looks like, if the hack has a short cooldown, she could be a very powerful harasser and shutting down abilities as we go along. But let me know what you guys think. Is Sombra really just going to be that disabler, or might she be a more powerful character than it might initially appear? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. My name is Panzer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.